Wow, that is bright, isn't it? This is a response video to Mr. Esser. Hopefully, I pronounced your name correctly. If I did not, I'm really sorry. He posted this, I believe, on his YouTube channel, and I found it a very interesting post. And he definitely has his points. I don't know where this sparked for him to start this discussion, but I think it's a good one to actually latch onto and talk a bit about. He talked about that some sabersmiths or YouTube personalities. Not sure what YouTube personalities are. Um, I make YouTube videos for fun. It's a hobby for me, and I don't know if that makes me a YouTube personality. With a personality, I always think a famous person and not some small YouTube guy. Either way, the point is, he said YouTubers using trickery to trick people into buying lightsabers they review, and they getting money to review lightsabers. I wish it was true. I honestly to God, I wish it was true. I wish I got money from all the lightsabers I bought from Saberforge, Vader's Vault, Alta Sabers, and all these other brands, and they actually give me money to review. But they don't. They don't use marketing budgets like some other companies do. What sometimes happened, before I start into this video and talk about what's going on, I want to give you a bit of a background. What sometimes happen is saber companies might send a lightsaber to a famous person. For example, KR Sabers 2 years ago sent a lightsaber to Casey Neistat. He got his 4 minutes of fame when Casey Neistat was unboxing his lightsaber and looked at it like, oh, cool lightsaber, and that was it. And I think he even mispronounced the brand name. Same with Vader's Vault, and Adam Savage bought a lightsaber from them, and he even misspelled the name, etc. So I don't think it really has a major impact on their business, and that's why you don't see them doing it that often. And especially for really small YouTubers like myself, Saber Sourcing, Darth Sidious, um, they are also not getting paid to do lightsaber reviews. It's not. In a very lucky occasional time, you get a lightsaber to review, but you have to send it back afterwards. You definitely cannot keep it, and that sometimes happen. But from all the lightsabers I reviewed, that it has been so little times that I actually got a review sample and got it to review and then send it back. It really happens very sparingly. Either way, that out of the way, I thought it was kind of funny because I'm also trying to speak for other YouTubers that make frequent lightsaber review videos. That they definitely have to come all from our pockets, like Saber Sourcing and the Darth Sidious and myself. They have to pay everything ourselves. It's all coming from hard-earned money. So either way, he has a good point. He says some YouTubers and some lightsaber smiths. I don't know where this came from, this whole debate, but I have an idea. I think it came from, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it came from the fact that there was a YouTuber and lightsaber manufacturer called Space Windu. He made a NeoPixel blade that is $300, which is apparently against from words like Dmitry Stock, who's is like a Russian rocket scientist in terms of lightsaber electronics, and he said, well, based on all the specs, etc., there's nothing special about it. It's actually a bit underwhelming. Don't know why it's $300. Why it's $300? And then we had some other companies apparently that also sold like single lux LEDs as being super bright, as the brightest on the market, new technology, etc. I don't know because I literally can't find anything for the rest on the internet. I try to research it, but the point is, I'm using a front-face camera on my telephone. Its max resolution is 1080p, and my Pastor Shiva, which I absolutely love, my son loves it as well, uses a single lux LED. So it's I think a 3 watt or 6 watt LED. It's not the brightest, definitely not the brightest. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not the brightest. For $60, it's a beautiful package, super sturdy. Really recommend anybody to look into it. I think it's the best dueling / spinning lightsaber on the market, hands down. my opinion. But yeah, the light is not the brightest. It's not in person. It's not bright, but on the camera you can see it washes out my face. It completely lights up the entire room. It creates shadows behind me. As you can see, it's doing its thing. On the camera, I'm definitely doing its thing. Am I tricking you into believing this is the most bright lightsaber? No, because I'm just a lazy guy. I like to monitor myself making this video. Where am I in the frame? Am I using the rules of thirds? Am I showing the product correct? Is the camera zooming in? Is it out of focus? That's why I'm using the front camera. It's just way easier for me to monitor myself making these videos. But the downside is these front-facing cameras often have a really crappy camera. The sensor is not good for picking up low light environments like this. It's get grainy. I mean, you can't see my face, etc. It's very bad, the camera. Okay, it's just not good for low light environments. Especially now I'm showing this lightsaber. It focuses all its processing power towards this light, and it blows up the light. It makes it way brighter than it actually is, because it doesn't have enough details, enough power actually to substantially show the actual details. It doesn't have the power, and especially with cameras that even are filming only max on 720p, this lightsaber would look even brighter. It looks like the brightest lightsaber on the market. And it's not because we're trying to trick people, but that's just the convenience of the front-facing camera. And the alternatives are buying a DSLR with a flip-out screen, which I had in the past. Amazing. Yes, you will see the actual brightness a lot better. You can actually see the plastic tube then, and the light way better, because the sensor is way better. The lens is better. The aperture is way better. You can actually configure it way better. But for most people, they're just using their iPhone or the Android phone. In my case, I'm using a cheap Samsung A50 camera for my work. It's a sub $250 camera. The front-facing camera only can film max 2080p, and that's why this lightsaber looks super bright. So yeah, he's right. He's right. The camera tricks you into thinking this lightsaber is super bright. So that is a point that I want to make. So when you're watching YouTube videos, you will never get the full picture of how bright something is. It's really hard to capture that on the camera. And he said YouTubers try to trick you by holding the lightsaber in different angles, etc., to make it more bright, etc. I never ever did that consciously. That I'm trying to make sure that you get the brightest view of my lightsaber. You actually can see the tip here if I hold it like this, but it's really hard to show you. So you saw that for 1 second. Yeah, here. Only in this particular angle, you see, this is actually more what I see in the color of the brightness. You see that bluish hui here, and it has like a different color tip. That's actually what I see in person as well. But it's really difficult to show. There's only one angle I can actually show you that. I mean, that's really annoying. It's not something that I'm gonna point a lightsaber exactly to show you guys. Like, it only shows up in this angle for me, that you can see that, and then it's still not giving the full idea of it. So first of all, this lightsaber is amazing. The LED isn't the brightest, but for $60 I'm more than happy with it. Unfortunately, on the camera it shows up as if it's a NeoPixel lightsaber with a photon blade or something like that. It's clearly not. That's also, it's not priced at that range, etc., and it doesn't try to sell itself as that price. Now, apparently he says that there are saber companies out there that try to sell a really low budget LED module as a high-end new technology for top dollars or near top dollars, as for example the high-end lightsaber production manufacturer companies like Vader's Vault, etc. So I don't know who he is talking about, to be honest, because I didn't find any new saber company or company that is claiming that a single LED or a cheap LED is the new invention and is as bright, etc. And I don't know. The only thing that I could find was the stuff about Space Windu. So I think there's a correlation there. But yeah, my point is, when you are watching a lightsaber review or a product review, yeah, basically we're talking a lightsaber, so there's nothing else. you can't get the full picture of the brightness. Okay, you just have to listen to the words the people saying, like, this is a nice bright lightsaber, or is this bright enough, or no, it's all subjective. Because even though maybe I have a neopixel lightsaber showing now, and I say this is the brightest lightsaber on the market, you may argue with that and say no, there's something else that's brighter or whatever. This is clearly not the brightest, or in the top five of brightest lightsabers. Excuse me, I have to burp. Um, but to say that these YouTubers um, are trying to trick you and making believe this is the brightest lightsaber or any lightsaber on the market, I don't think so. I don't think this is happening intentionally. Maybe they get so you get a new lightsaber, you get it out of the box, and the first thing you're just hyped up, you're super happy, and you're just gonna talk about it. You're super stoked about it. So yeah, of course you have that rush in your body, and that might give the wrong impression, but it also gives you the impression that you're really stoked about this new lightsaber, that you really enjoy the product. So I do understand the points there. I don't think it's an intentional way for YouTubers trying to I don't know, sell products, because most of those YouTube reviewers don't own a saber company or not affiliated with the saber company. So I don't think there's any gain for them either there. It's just they enjoy collecting lightsabers and talking about them, reviewing it, and enjoying it. But for sabersmiths, yeah, that's a different story, because they have competition and they have to compete with other sabersmiths. And yeah, sometimes a new kid comes on the block. He's fancy, has good marketing skill sets. He's very savvy with his YouTube channel or her YouTube channel, and it's just feels like very smooth, fast, blah blah blah. Blah. And they sell cheap stuff for a pretty premium price, a bit like Kyber Light in my opinion. Those guys were really good in marketing. They did a really excellent job with it, but what you actually bought wasn't like amazing, right? To be honest, it wasn't like amazing new product. It wasn't a good soundboard. The LED wasn't super bright. There was no film inside the blade originally, and all that stuff. It wasn't like a fantastic product, but it was sold like hotcakes because of the marketing strategy, etc. So yeah, so from that point of view, I can understand that he tries to be guarding potential customers from buying crap. But yeah, that's my point. My point is basically, unless you splurge out a good amount of money on buying a full frame or micro three thirds camera with a proper lens, with the right lens setup for the aperture that you adjust, etc., for the low light environment you're in, etc. I really want to show the brightness of the blades. You really focus on that. Then of course you can splurge out a lot of money to get to that state, and then you can do it. But most people on YouTube, there are amateurs like myself. They just use whatever they have, an iPhone, whatever, a front cam often, because it's easier to see yourself while you're talking, and that is how the brightness is coming to life. And all these lightsabers looks amazingly bright, but in actuality they are not as bright, and it's just hard to see. And this is something you need to just understand, that not everybody or most people are not going through a lot of lengths to actually show you the actual brightness if they can. So that's not happening. It's just different. It's just different and difficult subject matter, and I do understand and I do agree that yeah, people that like to make often YouTube videos, that should bring it up from time to time and clarify that maybe with a statement like, hey, um, the lightsabers that I review, I'm using this in this camera setup, so they might appear brighter than they are in real life. You need to be aware of that if you really want to purchase one and you're really keen on getting the brightest on the market. Then yeah, maybe a disclaimer or something. This isn't the most brightest lightsaber on the market, and yeah, that is what it is. Maybe we need to get a like an unofficial system for reviews or something like that amongst all these YouTubers, and say, okay, this is the categories, and these are the numbers you can attach to it. And when you review it, you give it a number 1 to 10 based on these brands and these used LEDs or NeoPixel technology, and that is what you can give it as a number to accurately portray what is the brightness for people to look into or something, and they can look it up themselves and say, okay, this is a 6 on the scale of 10, and that means it's this LED and it's that bright. You still don't really have a relevation because you can't physically see it. You just have something on paper telling you what it is. It's going to be always hard. The same with the loudness of a lightsaber. How loud is a lightsaber when you put it on? Yeah, to my ear, I'm deaf on one ear. I would say it's bright. It's loud as hell. But for you, maybe with 2 good working ears, it's like, it's underwhelming. The stereo's not working because I can't hear stereo, for example. It's really difficult. Also, my eyes registering brightness differently than you, the shades of the color and whatnot. So there always will be discrepancies. But I don't think that actual YouTubers out there, in general, there may be some, but in general, 95% of them, maybe even more, are not trying to actually cheat on you guys and make it look brighter or anything. Because in most cases, there's no gain for us. It's just re-enjoying buying lightsabers, collecting them, and showing them off, and that's it. That's the truth to it. So that was my little video. If you want more videos, let me know. I really love this lightsaber, by the way. It feels so good in the hand. I'm not trying to sell it to you guys, but just check it out. My son loves it as well. He plays with it all day long, and for me, it's perfect because it's a $60 lightsaber, so it's already scratched up, etc. It fell on the ground many times. It doesn't hurt my wallet. It doesn't hurt my heart. And he's super perfectly happy with it. So, hey. Anyway, that was my little video about brightness or people trying to pretend things are lighter or brighter than they actually are. I don't think it's an intentional thing. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Let's have an open discussion about it and maybe make more videos about this subject till we got like flashed it out. So, like, we're gonna flash this out to the bottom and see what we can do, what I can do for you guys to make my reviews more truthful. If you feel like that there's a missing part or there's an important factor for you guys that needs to be addressed. I will actually get a DSLR camera. I'm eyeballing one at the moment, and my wife's going back to Hong Kong in a couple of months, so I will be back to a DSLR setup and different lenses, and that allows me, like the videos you have maybe seen in the past, to have really nice colored videos in dark environments. So anyway, that was my video. It was quite long. Let me know in the comments what you think. See you next time, and yeah, let me know what you think about this subject. Take care, guys. See you. Bye bye.